Hey guys, today is December 23rd, 2018, and I am on my way home from this last trip. 95 days out this year. Missed my goal by one day, but oh well. So last night was definitely pretty intense. We were sitting in our chairs, and it was cold out. We're all bundled up and everything, and decided to go over to the picnic table there in our campsite and huddle around the tabletop heater and kind of get warmed up a little bit. And I was doing good, so I decided I was going to go sit back down and see what I could see. We were seeing some, I term them twinkle lights, little itty bitty orbs, I guess. I just call them twinkle lights. That's my phrase for them, so go with it. Yeah, we could hear movement periodically, but it can't be real definite on what it is. Even though I'm pretty confident I know, or that we knew. But as I sat down in my chair, I don't even know how to describe it other than completely wiped out. I was fighting to keep my eyes open, like I was going to fall asleep in the chair right there. And Chuck and James, they saw this. And I politely asked the forest people, that if you're making me tired, can you please do something to wake me up, because I'm about ready to fall asleep. And I no sooner said that, and it's like I was paralyzed in my chair. I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't move my legs. Was getting kind of tight in the chest. Make a little adjustment here, sorry. But I was getting tight in the chest. Nothing like heart problem type tight in the chest, but that's the only way I can describe it. And mix that in with this power zap. And I was telling Chuck what I was feeling, or telling them what I was feeling, that I couldn't move. And Chuck had asked, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, but I just can't move, and I'm tight in the chest." And give me a second here, because I'm coming up on a highway change. But I told him I was doing fine, but Chuck asked him, if you're doing that to Kevin, can you please stop, because it's uncomfortable. And so it lightened up a little bit, and I just sat there and enjoyed it until it actually had stopped. Here's where it gets nuts. After I was able to move, I was hit with this massive amount of energy. I mean, I felt like I could run a marathon, even though I can't run, physical injuries, but I had that kind of energy. I couldn't sit in the chair. Had to get up. I was kind of bouncing around and jumping around, frolicking around, and just a mass amount of energy. That's the first time I have ever been, hit with something like that, with all that energy. And I was having all these off-the-wall memories hit me. Simple little things like, the theme song to the Monkees just all of a sudden pops in my head, and so I start dancing around to that in my head, here we come, walking down the street. But anyway, I'm not going to sing for you. And weird childhood memories that I just didn't remember. And that whole thing lasted for probably a half hour. I mean, I was just loaded with energy. And James decided that he was going to go home last night. So he left, I don't know, it was about 7:30. And Chuck and I sat out there for about another half hour. Yeah, it was about 8 o'clock we decided to call it quits. And went into the tent. Well, let me back up a little bit. I left about 3/4 of a apple pie out on the picnic bench, and some donuts and some cookies and some pretzels. And I told them, besides telling them thank you for everything that you're doing, I really appreciate it. I don't mind what you're doing, and I said I left some gifts on the table for you. They're yours. Take what you want. Take all of it. But that's for you. And, so Chuck went to bed. I went into my tent and got on the computer and started putting my notes in, for the night. Because I keep a pretty detailed diary while I'm out there. And lo and behold, shortly after I had gone in the tent, I was probably in the tent 15 minutes maybe less than that. And I heard a real loud clank come from the table, so I just kind of, well, hi, like I said, everything out there is yours, and didn't hear anything else. And so I went back to putting my notes on the computer, and probably 15 minutes later, I heard that clanking sound again, and I kind of thought, well, maybe they're grabbing the pie. And so I went to sleep, and when I got up this morning, it's still dark outside. Got my coffee started, turned on the tabletop heater, and went about getting stuff in the tent packed up, blah, blah, blah. Once it was light enough outside, I went and looked, and the pie and the pie tin were gone. The donuts weren't touched. The cookies weren't touched. The pretzels weren't touched. But the pie was gone. And on the ground, kind of at the end of the table, there was a little bit of the pie that was on the ground. And so I kind of think what happened is that first clink I heard was them getting into the pie. I think he grabbed a handful of pie out of there and was getting ready to eat it. And when I said hello, you can have whatever you want on the table, I think I startled him or her. But and they dropped the pie and kind of took off. And waited about 15 minutes or so and came back and got the rest of the pie. Pie tin's gone, everything. Donuts aren't touched, cookies aren't touched, so, there's no one else up there but Chuck and I, and Chuck's inside his van, and if he would have opened or closed his door, I would have heard that. If it was a raccoon, a bear, deer, elk, you name it, they would have destroyed the donuts and the cookies and the bag of pretzels and the pie. And there would have been remnants of that all laying, all over the table and that, because, those kind of animals typically aren't very, very neat when they eat. They kind of make messes of things. So that was pretty interesting, and like I'd said in a previous video on this trip, is that I'm in Mitch Waite's area where Mitch Waite used to be, and rest in peace, my friend, even though I never met you, you are my friend. But season 2 of Finding Bigfoot episode in Payson, Arizona, they went out there because he had video of a juvenile getting in his ice chest there. So it's a pretty hot spot. I'm pretty happy with it. This has been a good trip. It's been a long trip, been a cold trip. Getting down to freezing this morning. The thermometer in the truck said 31 degrees, so there you go. happy to be back down into the desert. Now it's time to shift gears and start getting everything together and ready for Christmas. I have a lot of family coming over, so anybody watching this, you know, that this is probably going to be my last video for this year. I'll be getting back out as soon as I can after the first of the year. But I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Peace out.